Now, football fans enjoy nothing more than a debut to remember, because there's just something so magical about a new signing stepping onto the pitch and making impact immediately. And as we all saw from Gyökeres's debut with Arsenal, sometimes it just doesn't go to plan, even though in the next game after that he literally scored, 2 goals, a penalty and a solo run finish. So shush to the people that were hating. But that's besides the point. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of the greatest introductions in football. The best debuts that we've seen in football history, and those players that just made their mark known from day one. And instantly while writing this video, the first name that came to mind was Wayne Rooney. Because back in August of 2004, Wayne Rooney arrived from Everton to Manchester United for a fee of £25 million. This kind of fee back then would be used to purchase Wayne Rooney, who would become a club icon for Manchester United. But these days, this amount is probably buying you Emile Smith Rowe's right leg. And this was a big deal because at the time it was a world record fee paid for a teenager. And this teenage sensation Wayne Rooney would make impact immediately with his first game coming in the Champions League. Yes, a full debut in the Champions League. This wasn't just any random game, this was a big one against Fenerbahce. Constantly in the news during this time there were murmurs about whether he was deserved of this fee that was paid for him. But after just 17 minutes in this game, all the doubters would be silenced. Shush. He would be played in behind and score a left-footed finish that just evaded the goalkeeper, flying over his head. And that wasn't all, because this would continue with him picking up the ball again, and this time doing it with his right foot, scoring a 20-something yard drilled shot into the far left corner of the goal, with the ball going across his body, demonstrating his clinical ability at such a young age.
But wait, that's not even all.
Because he scored a left-footed finish, a right-footed finish, and then he topped it off with a free kick. This kid shrugged off the likes of Ryan Giggs, who was going to take the free kick, and said, nah, I'm taking this myself and I'm finishing it into the back of the net. And he would do just that, put the ball in the back of the net with ease and really make a statement for himself in world football. Manchester United would end up winning this game 6-2, but it was Rooney's impact that really took the world by storm, with this being a foreshadowing of what was to come, with Rooney becoming Manchester United's all-time top goal scorer with 253 goals. Whilst also winning every major trophy with the club and defining an era. Now, from one side of Manchester to another, we have to talk about an Argentinian smurf. No, not you. You can go away. Sergio Aguero. Nobody knew that he would have this level of impact straight away, because we thought he would be adapting to this new league, this new environment and atmosphere. But no, he was brought on in around the 60th minute in a game against Swansea, and even then, he made his name known, with 30 minutes of pure chaotic brilliance, with an iconic back post finish being his first for Manchester City, which we would see replicated time and time again. And then in another opportunity, with the ball looking like it was going to go off the pitch, Aguero acrobatically kept it on and gave an assist to David Silva. Something that we didn't know this little Argentinian gremlin had in his locker. But then the cherry on top of the cake, a swerving 30-yard strike. A goal in stoppage time for his second in the game, helping Manchester City win 4-0 with 2 goals and 1 assist in half an hour. And again, we would see that this game would foreshadow the future of Aguero at Man City, becoming their all-time top goal scorer with 260 goals and delivering them clutch moment after clutch moment throughout his career there. You also need to take into account that in his first debut season, he gave us the iconic Aguero moment, scoring that last-minute goal for Manchester City to win the league. Now, despite only talking about players that played for Manchester clubs, I'm gonna have to do it again, because this next debut can't be forgotten. We have to talk about Anthony Martial's debut with Manchester United, the guy that changed fate of football, because when we saw his debut we thought this was the next golden boy. And it happened back in September of 2015 in a game between Manchester United and Liverpool. Anthony Martial would sign from Monaco for a fee of £36 million, including add-ons, with things written in the contract that sparked curiosity in Manchester United fans and also fans in football. Pretty much in his contract there was written a Ballon d'Or clause that Monaco would receive more money if he won the Ballon d'Or whilst being at Manchester United. And of course, as people that are living in the present, we know that this is never going to happen, only on FIFA. And I think there's a guy that actually made a video about this. Good video. Now we would see the 19-year-old debut under immense pressure in a game between Manchester United and Liverpool, aka some fierce rivals. And with the game already at 2-1, it would be Martial that would be called upon. And then we would see some Martial magic. Because this kid would pick up the ball on the left-hand side of the pitch and glide past his man, driving aggressively towards the box and looking like he was about to score a solo run, with the only defender in his way being Martin Skrtel. This guy sold him a dream, sending him one way and manoeuvring his body around him before slotting the ball into the back of the net. This all happened in a flash, showing this ice-cold composure that we hadn't seen in the league for so long, especially from a teenager. Old Trafford would then erupt with the whole world watching. Unfortunately, this debut wouldn't really foreshadow the brilliance of Martial, though he would have some other big moments throughout his career, but you know, it doesn't take away that he has one of the most iconic debuts in football history. And talking about Liverpool getting dunked on by a youngster, we have to bring up, you know, one of their great debuts in their history. Let's briefly talk about Virgil van Dijk's debut with Liverpool, a transfer that pretty much changed this club's fate. Van Dijk was brought in the January transfer window of 2017/18 for a fee worth 75 million. Signing in at Liverpool from Southampton, we didn't really know what to expect, because it's not like he was a complete outlier in the league. He was just someone that Liverpool saw the potential of and just enhanced his game. And during his debut, we would see some signs of fragility, coming in an FA Cup third round game against Everton, aka a Merseyside derby. Under these Anfield lights, we would see small mistakes being made by Van Dijk, and these doubts would all be put to bed in the 84th minute of the game, because from a corner it would be Virgil van Dijk who rose like a lighthouse and thundered the ball in to the back of the net, scoring the winner at home in front of the Kop. A late derby winner on his debut. What more could you ask for? Becoming more and more confident each and every game, whilst transforming Liverpool's defence and becoming the best centre-back in the league, period, and even up until this season. Now maybe we've been talking about too many Premier League ballers, but this time let's go over to Germany and talk about a player that actually currently plays in the Premier League. Let's talk about Erling Haaland's debut with Borussia Dortmund. After moving from RB Salzburg for a fee of around 20 million euros, Haaland made his debut against Augsburg. This was back in January of 2020, and young Haaland would come on in the 56th minute of the game. And this wasn't just any debut substitution, this was a substitution that needed to have impact, because Dortmund in this game were 3-1 down. But by the 79th minute, Haaland had scored a hat-trick. Yeah, this guy's not human, he's AI, bro. This guy is ChatGPT. How's this guy coming on for 10 minutes and scoring a hat-trick? Is this what the levels of the Bundesliga is like? Can I start up front in the Bundesliga? Because if so, then with his first touch he would score a goal. Then he would score a poacher's-like finish. Then it would be a one-on-one finish, and the hat-trick was done. It's not even worth talking about. It was done just like that. He scored 3 goals in 23 minutes and made these Augsburg defenders look like they'd seen a ghost, something out of The Conjuring. And this is the thing, because this was not the first time that a Borussia Dortmund debutant had scored a hat-trick against Augsburg, because Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang also did the exact same thing. This time back in August of 2013, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang had just made a move to Dortmund. In a fee worth around 13 million euros, he had made the move from Saint Etienne in France, with him also scoring a debut hat-trick. Yeah, this is not normal no more. This must be a conspiracy theory. Someone did some black magic voodoo doo-doo on this team. Now forget all them goals. Let's go over to France and talk about Neymar Jr.'s debut with PSG. Because back in 2017, he would arrive in Paris after a fee worth everyone's existence that's watching this video, 222 million euros. This money is despicable. If I'm paying that amount of money for a player, they need to start in the Champions League final and score a hat-trick. But no, Neymar actually started against EA Guingamp. Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce this team's name. EA Guingamp in France. Someone teach me how to say this name. And I actually remember this game because this was streamed everywhere at the time. I wanted to see Neymar's debut for PSG. With all the eyes and all the pressure on him, Neymar just delivered a standard Neymar performance, dictating every single moment of the game, demanding the ball deep in areas that, we knew that he would occupy, and driving with the ball. Starting his career off with PSG with a goal and an assist, with a lovely threaded through ball that Cavani would finish off, and then Cavani would actually repay the favour, with Neymar getting a goal of his own after a bit of link up play, and Neymar celebrating happily. He would score over 100 goals with PSG after this game and create a legacy that a lot of people say was unfulfilled. Now, the last introduction into football I want to talk about in this video is Ronaldo Nazario's debut for Real Madrid back in 2002, because this is one that is never really spoken about. Ronaldo was signed from Inter for around 45 million euros after winning the World Cup back in 2002, with his debut coming in October of that year, and he would stay for around 4 seasons at Real Madrid. And in this game against Alaves, he would just demonstrate why he was called the phenomenon. Coming off the bench to a Bernabeu that was on tiptoes, waiting to see his arrival, he would pretty much score with his first touch, with the ball being crossed in by I think Roberto Carlos. Ronaldo R9 would chest the ball down, evading 2 defenders, let the ball bounce and just half volley it into the back of the net. Something that we would, beg to see any strikers in modern football do. What, chest the ball down in the middle of the box before, they get slide tackled. It was like he was moving in slow motion, putting that ball into the back of the net and scoring his first goal for Real Madrid. And after his first goal, we would just see him work his way into this game, with him even setting up an opportunity that was squandered with a fake-like shot pass into pretty much a 1v1 scenario that was not slotted away. But then another opportunity was given to him instead, and he would slot it into the corner of the goal. And this debut honestly kind of encapsulates the title of this video, the masters of introductions in football. Because despite Ronaldo R9 battling with injuries, he still made an amazing impact during his introduction back into a new side. Just like most great players do, because great players often in their mind want to make sure that fans know that their purchase was worth it. So let me know your favorite ever debut in football, and it has to be when they're first signed. It can't be, a youngster making his debut from their boyhood club. It has to be from a signature in football. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment and subscribe. This has been Jib Rules as always. Stay safe, stay blessed, and peace.